Hi, everybody. This is Susan Thomas. I'm the librarian who's going to be working with you on your PubMed and CINAHL obesity screening searches. So you've completed the first part of the module, and now we're to the point where we have a complete concept map, and we're going to use it to start searching the two databases. So we search one database at a time. What I do, when I'm doing a search like this, which is almost like a systematic review, this is a big search. It's an advanced search. So I print out two copies of my concept map, one for PubMed and one for CINAHL. That way I can actually cross terms out as I add them to the database and really keep track of my search. Otherwise, it's really easy to forget to type something in, even though I've gone to great lengths to try to make this concept map, extremely clear and indicate, which term is controlled vocabulary in MESH or in CINAHL or both, and which term or phrase is a keyword. So I'm going to be using my concept map. I've got my pen here ready to go, and I'll explain a little bit more about that as we go. So I am going to go straight into the PubMed database now. Let me do a new search here. Okay, it's really important to enter PubMed through the Pace University library. So if you were to just type in library.pace.edu, you'd be good to go. And you go to the databases. Don't go anywhere else, databases, and then click the letter P for PubMed. And you'll most likely need to authenticate off campus. Now, the weird thing is we are not searching PubMed in this prominent search box. We're doing a really advanced search, and we're going to build our whole search in the MESH database. It's much easier. You have more control using the MESH database. So I'll explain a little bit more as we go. I'm going to go there first. You might recognize this from part one. This is actually where we go to identify controlled vocabulary. Well, we've already done that and recorded it on the concept map. So it might seem a little strange, but I'm going to be typing in what I already know to be a MESH term, and that's fine. That's the way that we're utilizing the MESH database now with known MESH terms. And I'm going to start with the screening column. In my concept map, the population column is the one that's first listed. However, we're searching the population by exclusion, not inclusion. We want to eliminate any pregnant people from our search results. So I'm going to do that at the very end. What you want to do is include everything that's going to be included first, then at the very end, exclude what you need to exclude. Otherwise, there's a lot of room for error there. So I'm going to start with my screening column. I'm looking at my concept map right now. And what I'm doing is I'm looking for the first MESH term on it, which is diagnostic screening program. I'm going to type that in. And notice my typo, which I need to correct myself. And here's an opportunity to just sort of double check that this is what I want. Make sure there's no more narrow term below diagnostic screening programs. And there is not. And I will just come over here to the search box where we're going to build our search and click add to search builder. And then I'm going to come back up to the MESH search box and look for my next MESH term, which is early diagnosis. And in this case, I need to click on the match. And I notice here that there is a more narrow term below early diagnosis, one that I do not want. So in PubMed, you have to tell the database to exclude that. Otherwise, it will automatically include it in the search. So I'm going to come up here and check this box that says, do not include MESH terms found below this term in the MESH hierarchy. That box. And then I need to change this to and. I'm sorry, I need to change this from and to or. And that's because I'm looking for everything in this column, screening or early detection or early diagnosis or whatever is in my column. So we're using or at this point. I'm building my search for the screening column. Now, do I have any other mesh terms? Nope. Everything else is a keyword. So instead of going up here, I'm going to build the rest of my search in this box, just using my concept map. So I'm going to do or screening. And this might look weird. Usually we only put quotations around search terms if they are 2 or more words, and we want that exact phrase. That's how it is in every other database, even in Google, but it is not how PubMed works. What we're doing with these quotation marks now is turning off the automatic term mapping. I am completely 100% in control of my search. I don't want PubMed to try to help me. If PubMed tries to help me, it's going to mess up my search. So I want to turn off the automatic term mapping. And the way to do that is to put the word, even a single word, or words, a phrase, in quotation marks. That's very unusual. Now, my next keyword is early detection. And the next is early identification. And the last is early diagnosis, which we already searched as a mesh term, but we want to also search it as a keyword. And again, just to review, that's because if we search only by the mesh term, we're going to possibly miss the most recently published articles that have not been attached mesh terms to yet. And we'll also miss articles that are not ever assigned mesh terms because they're not indexed in Medline. So another way of putting that is if I were to only search by the controlled vocabulary, I would only be searching Medline. So I don't want that. That's Medline is a subset of PubMed. So we have to search by keyword as well as controlled vocabulary. So we're finished with this column, and now I'm going to search PubMed. And I am not even looking at my results yet. What I want to do is see what I did in the mesh database. And the way to do that is to click on the advanced tab right there. It's not exactly user-friendly, but you click advanced to see your search history. So here's my column, search number 1, and I'm actually going to write that on my piece of paper above the column so that later when I'm combining my columns, it will be easy for me to do that. Now I return to mesh at this point, and I go to my next column, which is the tool, BMI, and the official mesh term is body mass index. And I want to click on it and make sure that this is what I want. Yes. Add to search builder. And that's the only mesh term for this. This is a very short column. I'm just going to add 2 keywords. Oops. I'm going to add BMI or body mass index as a keyword. Or always want to double check I've done this correctly, no typos, no ands, and then search PubMed. And go to advanced, and then I see my second search, which I record on top of the tool column. And I go to my third search in mesh, and I type in the mesh term, which is obesity. And I click on it. I don't need to look at all the rest of this because theoretically, and in fact, in reality, I've already done that when I was making my concept map. I've already determined all the mesh terms that I want to use. I just need to click on them just to double check that there's nothing that I want to exclude underneath here. And I've determined it's fine to include all of these things. There is a maternal obesity, but that should be okay because we're going to be excluding pregnant people at the very end. So I add to search builder, And then I very simply add or obesity as a keyword, or, oh, that's it. Very easy column here. Search PubMed. It's going to be my third search. When I go to advanced, I can confirm that. And then I have my geography column, which is kind of weird. So what I'm going to do here is go to mesh and look for the controlled vocabulary that I've identified, United States. Put that. And I do want all of these states and regions. I want all these mesh terms included. So I'm definitely not going to exclude them. I want them there. I'm just sort of confirming that. So I'm going to add to the search builder. And that's the only controlled term for geography. You know, we are getting all those states and regions as well. However, I do need to do something very wordy. And that is add all the states as keywords. So I have actually done a little cheat here. I'm going to do a new share. Let's see, where's that? Here we go. I've already put them all in a document, so I'm just going to grab this, copy it. And I've included United States as a keyword and also America, and then all the states. I didn't include the regions, but I think that's okay. So let me get back to Med. And I'm just going to paste all that in the box. So I'm going to look at my concept map and make sure I've got United States as a mesh term, as a keyword, America as a keyword, and all 50 states as keywords. And everything joined by or. Search PubMed. And that becomes my fourth column. And that is a crazy long one. And finally, my last column is the population column that we're going to be actually excluding. So I'm looking for pregnant women. They have not changed this to pregnant people yet. Search and add to search builder. And let's see if I have any other mesh terms. I do. I have gestational weight gain. Remember that I'm actually just getting this straight from my concept map. That's the beauty of the concept map. Oh, whoops, grain. That'll do it. Okay. I'm going to change this to or. Search folder. And that's it. The rest are going to be keywords. So I'm going to do or pregnant or gestational weight gain or expectant mothers. Oops, very important to use the quotation. So I've crossed everything out on my PubMed concept map and double checked and search PubMed. Go to the advanced, and now I have column 5. Now, here's the exciting part. Now, until now, all my searches were joined with or because I wanted everything in that column. United States or America or California or Michigan, etc. Body mass index or BMI. Now, at the very end, the way to get my results as useful as possible is to combine all the columns, but using and at this point. And the way you do that is you come down to the first one and you click this little button here. I'm sorry, that's not right. You don't click that little button. You click the little ellipses. Sorry, click the little dots and click add query. For the first column of your final search, you add query, and then you see that it's automatically populated in this box here. And then with the second one, instead of add query, we now have these options and we want to add with and. That's where this becomes and. First, so we have, one column and another column and the third column and the fourth column, and see it's just automatically populating as we go. And then finally, the last column is different. That is the not column. So I want to exclude these terms. And just to show you quickly, going back to the concept map for one sec. See, this is what I did. Search 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I searched with or down the columns, but now I'm searching with and to join each column, except this one's unusual because it's the exclusion. This is, I guess this map is not 100% accurate because I should have indicated something here with not. Well, I guess I did. Well, let me get back where I was. And now I'm ready to run the search. So at this point, and just don't panic, this is early. I have over 1,600 results, but we haven't applied our date filter yet. So that's going to really bring it down. We're going to cover that later. So video is already very long. So we're going to cover how to limit the search, how to save it, and how to share it in another video and also in person when we meet. So I will say though, one last thing, if I wanted to just very quickly share this search with somebody, I could go back to that advanced and I could grab this entire section right here. And I can copy that and send it to somebody. And really all they have to do is go to PubMed and paste it in this box. And we have the same number of results. So that's a quick way of just sharing it. But we'll get to that later. So that's it for now. Stay tuned for the next video about searching Synol. Bye.